Hey guys, welcome back to Metroid Prime. Today we're going to be starting in Phendrana Drifts again.
How many times we've been here already?
A
A lot.
We're here quite a bit, but I mean, I can't blame it. It's a real cool place. Ow!
That's what you get.
Man, that cold shoulder was so bad, it just actually hurt him.
What are you talking about, cold shoulder? That was some hot tempered, not whole cold shoulder. We're in a cold place.
I can give you a cold shoulder.
We got the wave beam last episode, and now we can open up purple doors. Purple, the best color. And I swear, I don't know if this happens to anybody, but it's like my Wiimote sensor part just goes off the deep end sometimes.
Yeah, you know, out of hindsight, back in the day when the Wii was like fresh, and even when the Wii U first came out, I never really noticed much of an issue with like the IR sensor technology on the Wii. It was like super reliable. Nowadays, it sucks. It barely works.
It's old.
Like everything just seems to interfere with it nowadays. Like a light from like your curtain, or like maybe a glare that comes from the window, or you know, like the sensor bar can barely move like slightly to the left, and now all of a sudden it's getting blocked by something, and now it just doesn't work. Like it's just so finicky.
Yeah.
And what's worse for me nowadays, I used to have my sensor bars on top of my TV, but the one I use now, it has such like a flat body that it can't actually sit on the top. It just rolls off. So I'm using it under the TV, and doing that is a nightmare. Because having it under the TV sometimes actually blocks the sensor bar.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
I love the Wii. I really do. But yeah, it's just like the motion sensor technology is just, it's ancient. You can definitely tell it was the first of its kind, really.
Yeah. This is why like I'm such an adamant for gyro controls nowadays, because you don't need any extra setup for it, and it's very easy to like recenter your center point with the motion controls. That it feels a lot more accurate, closer to a mouse than even the IR pointing technology that the Wii had. Which is saying a lot, because back in the day, I loved playing any kind of like first-person game like Metroid or like GoldenEye, for example, just on the Wii, because it was so much more accurate than thumbsticks.
I haven't never played the GoldenEye remake on Wii. Was it good?
Yeah, it was a different beast compared to what it was trying to be a remake of. It's more of a reimagining, but it's still a good game on its own right.
Okay.
I think we have it. So
And then we have it too, yeah.
I know the HD version of it, the reloaded version, is a little harder to come by nowadays. It's supposed to just be a prettier version of the Wii one, but nothing else I think is different. And because of it, it's like more expensive for some reason. It just wasn't as common.
Oh, I forgot to mention that stalactite thing. It says that you have to aim it at the certain module on the stalactite to make it fall out. No, you can just shoot it. It goes down. I just showed it off. I didn't hit the center part at all.
If you hit like anywhere near the center part with like a missile, then it just counts.
By the way, these are the enemies right here. Yeah, the ice shriek bats. I think I already scanned these.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're killing them, you scan them.
Yeah. Yeah, the ice shriek bats in the NTSC version, after a certain point in the game, they just flat out disappear for some reason. I don't know why.
Don't you just love it when games share flags with things you have no idea about, and then randomly just makes your life harder?
I'm looking at a certain character in Wind Waker for a figurine quest for that.
Yeah, same issue. Oh yeah, let me talk to this one guy. Oh, now this other one just randomly leaves. Good.
Fall is tame, right?
I'm also looking at the nut upgrade in Ocarina of Time, because like the Deku nut upgrade in Lost Woods shares its flag with completing Forest Temple. So if you beat the Forest Temple, the nut upgrade just disappears for no reason. It's because it shares the same data. It's like, guys, come on, you couldn't have tested that. I fixed it like 20 years later with a 3DS version.
I mean, Ocarina is held together with duct tape, so...
Duct tape.
Not wrong. I mean, now you can tape it to Paper Mario, so...
Oh, yeah, Jarrett, I don't know if you ever heard about that little shenanigans. There's a thing in Ocarina, if you do a certain thing, you can pull up basically, what is it? Lester, you could explain it better.
Yeah, so basically a big glitch is now known in Ocarina of Time called arbitrary code execution, otherwise known as ACE. And you can literally write your own code in the game. So with a very specific setup using that glitch, you can write code into the game, but also out to the other games on the same system. So people found a way to link Ocarina of Time to Paper Mario. And they use Ocarina of Time for Paper Mario speedruns now.
Why is it fast? Is it fast? I guess it's faster.
Yeah, it's faster because doing very specific manipulation in Ocarina of Time, you use that code, inject it into Paper Mario, and it just basically works as a credits warp.
Oh,
So
God.
by doing all that, you can just warp to the credits in a certain point in your Paper Mario run.
And my thing is that I don't understand about that is like, are Ocarina and Paper Mario connected in some way?
No, it's more or less just utilizing like a crash log from Paper Mario at that point. Like it's just injecting crash log data from one game to another, and that's what's messing up the code. So it's just with Ace, you can inject code into stuff, and they're just utilizing that to write code into the game.
Is the code close enough to be able to do that? Like, what are the other options that people have injected to go from Majora to something else?
It probably is possible because they still find new stuff every day with these games. Like there's been like a new discovery every time you turn around, so it's hard to say. But I would give it some time, and there'd probably be a way to connect Ocarina and Majora with Ace, and then they probably just end up using that for speedruns. Maybe do Ace and Ocarina of Time, skips first cycle, and then that's the cycle skip everyone's waiting for. Then people may run the N64 copy of Majora's Mask.
What is that beeping?
It's a timer. Yeah, because I activated the timer in this room that raises the water level, and that's all it was. After the timer is gone, the water level goes back down.
I'm not gonna lie, when you fell off that one platform and you landed in the water, I thought the platforms are gonna be like the ones from Ocarina, where if you fall off of them, you have to go to like a actual flat level to retry the whole thing again.
Oh yeah, you know, one of those one and done timer challenges.
Yeah. Like in Ocarina, if you fall off one of the ice platforms, or even in Majora, you have to go to a flat level and remake them again.
But now we're infiltrating the Space Pirate Research Facility.
Space pirate, spooky.
Hi, Space Pirate.
Personal space, please.
Yeah, get out of my face!
6
He
feet.
doesn't like to take his picture. You didn't ask permission first.
He's too big to fit to the door.
You can't go past loading zone.
So
I just
you
want
killed him after you took his picture?
You killed a police officer! What?
He can just duck to fit on that door, and he chooses not to.
But Lester, that's too much effort.
Effort? What do you mean effort? Like enough effort to put a lock on the door here?
You blew the door open. They had a lock.
But this one happens when you don't lock your front door, and then the burglar comes on like, oh no, burglars are in here. We gotta lock them in. Why? You should have locked your door to begin with.
That just reminds me of that one meme where that guy is carjacking that one guy. He's like, "Oh, call an ambulance! Call an ambulance!" And he pulls out a gun and he says, "But not for me."
That's the space pirates right now.
Can the space pirates make that one noise like the guys from Halo? You know,
What?
Yeah.
Like the elites in Halo?
Yeah.
No, I wish they did though.
I
The
swear
space-
They're not cool enough.
They're not
I
cool
swear,
like
like,
elites.
Halo came out right before Prime, but at the same time, the space pirates in this game look
What
so
the-
similar to the alien creatures in Halo. I was like, did they just get inspiration from each other?
You might-
Maybe.
you might-
It's
yeah, you might have.
possible.
I love how when you destroy a security turret sometimes, it just goes haywire and then blows up.
Yeah, well, that's why it's best to use the wave beam against the security stuff, because it just disrupts their electricity and makes it go crazy. Then you can stun them too, which that's the big thing about the weight beam, makes it so useful. It can stun a lot of different enemies.
I see what you mean by that, messing the screen
Yeah.
up a lot. Holy cow.
Yeah, rip bitrate.
It really just messes up your visor when you get near those things. And if you blow it up right next to you, you're just like, well, oh my gosh. And now we're in the Space Pirate facility for certain, and we got these dudes here coming
No
in.
wonder they're attacking you. You just came into their home unannounced.
And it was like, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
How
There's
many
a
space
lot.
pirates do you murder?
There's a lot of pirate data in this room, by the way. So, yeah, scan all these red squares here.
Now, what does the data do? Does it help you in the long run? Like, is it for upgrades or just information for like
No,
100%?
it's lore. It's just lore.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
none of this stuff is required at all and doesn't even matter for 100%. And in fact, there's actually 2 different 100% trackers in this game. The one that
Oh,
actually
God.
cares about is the items. That's the one the game really keeps tabs on and actually lets you know when you beat the game, like how well you did. The scans have its own separate completion tracker, and it's like it doesn't matter. If you don't get them all, the game doesn't really penalize you or give you anything. It's just an extra.
You do get things for, like, I just got the notification right there that half the logbook's done.
Yeah, but that was a thing added to the trilogy version. Back in the GameCube version, there was nothing like this. No achievement system.
Actually, there was. The notification wasn't there, but actually, I think it was.
Well, yeah, there was like concept art you got with scans. I remember that much.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You get rewards for it. You get concept art. You get a lot of stuff for completing the logbook. But yeah, it's just it's nothing big, but yeah, it's cool stuff, like extra stuff to get.
But this was back when concept art was really cool to get in a game, though.
Yeah, because this is before concept art just became Google.com.
Yup.
By the way, Metroid Prime, all 3 Prime games, probably the best concept art I've seen in a video game, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, it's really good. The artists they have for the Prime stuff is just really good.
I love it. Especially like Prime 2. Prime 2's concept art is freaking awesome. Like, you see a lot of stuff and it's just like, dude, that looks so cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Dark
it's
Samus drawings especially.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much all the logbook it unlocks is concept art. But you do want I do go out of my way to get everything.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like the game doesn't actually track it for like 100% when you beat the game. Like you see the credits sequence, it doesn't let you know if you have 100% scans, but you can always check in the pause menu. But was that a thing back in like the GameCube one? Because I know you can do that in this version.
There is a notification for when you get 100% logs.
Do they tell you how much percentage of the logbook you completed in GameCube, like this one?
Actually, yes. They do give you notifications when you get a certain percentage. Like, it's at 50 and 100%. If you get 50% of the logbook done, you'll get a notification saying you did. And same goes for 100%. You'll get a notification you did.
Okay, so I guess that's like in the pause menu too. Like in the same section, you can check your item completion.
No, it doesn't have that.
Okay, that's what I was asking about. Yeah,
That's what
I figured the pop-ups would be there, but like the
thought you
actual
meant
tracker number.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant an in-game prompt. Yeah, it does the in-game prompt, but I don't think it does have the percentage.
So another plus for the Wii version then, because you can actually tell how much of the log you had before the prompts.
Yeah. Space pirates just don't like electricity, getting shocked.
Yeah, these guys really don't stand a chance to pretty much anything that's not Power Beam. Like, Power Beam's just the worst weapon to use against almost anything once you get the extra beams, because they all have, like, their extra attributes that 9 times out of 10 either do more damage or just stun things.
I mean, I like the Power Beam with the new upgrade we're about to get. I'll use the Power Beam then. But, yeah, I mean, actually, you say that Power Beam's kind of weak, and I agree with you on the most part, but it really does have its uses. I mean, you'll see later in the game where they implement changing between weapon types and all this other stuff. And Power Beam is just treated as equal as all the other beams.
I mean, yeah, it's true. In terms of its combat, once you start getting the other beams, it starts becoming less useful, but then they reintroduce more uses for it later on that keeps it in line with the rest of them.
I swear by this. Jump Ball makes this game 10 times better.
Yeah. Big plus for the Wii version.
Wii version, best version because Jump Ball exists. And it's accurate aiming, with motion control.
It's kind of funny this was introduced back in like Super Metroid, but we never had it in Prime 1 or 2 until the Wii.
Yeah.
And it's just because I guess back then I didn't have enough buttons on the game controller to like map one more action.
Not enough buttons is a rough thing to run into.
Yeah. I mean, compared to the other controllers on the market back then, the GameCube controller was missing a decent amount of buttons. It didn't have clickable sticks, it didn't have like 2 extra shoulder buttons, it only had like the Z button. That didn't help it.
I remember the Xbox controller. Holy crap, was it huge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The original thing was as big as your head.
And I remember the start and select button were called the black and white button.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I had one that had black and white buttons on the back side and then like 2 in the front, which was weird.
Yeah, it just like, it was so confusing. Like, I played some Xbox games that like utilized those buttons and I wouldn't really like give me a good difference. Like, oh, okay, I'm playing a 360 here, so what button's the black one?
Yeah, exactly.
This room is really cool, the observatory, because you get some lore from other games in this area. You get one for Zebus, and I mean you get one for Talon 4, obviously. I didn't realize how close Talon 4 was to Zebus. It's in the same solar system. So anyways, we're gonna get probably one of my favorite upgrades in the game. Super Missile.
Super Missile?
Yeah. Super Missile is kind of different in the Prime games compared to the 2D games. The 2D games had its own separate ammo for it. In this one, what you do is you charge up a power beam. Am I going to demonstrate it here? Yes, I think. Or not. Probably not. Or am I? Yeah, I just demonstrated. There you go. All right, so yeah, you just charge a beam, your power beam up with a charge beam, and then you push the missile button, and it uses 5 missiles, but it's very powerful. I mean,
like a lot of enemies, this is a kill in like one shot.
Yeah.
The early game, it's not that great to use after a while, but you're gonna get so many missiles that this thing just becomes like a spammable weapon, basically.
Yeah, and not only that, this weapon can pretty much one-phase one of the late game bosses.
Oh yeah,
it really can. It's that powerful. I love it.
Is it worth 5 missiles for the consumption? Like, is that what it comes out to? Is exactly 5 missiles? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.